Hello and welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today's video we're going to do a DIY homemade rose water for you, and super sweet, super simple. All you would need is rose petals. You would need about 3 to 4 cups of rose petals, and don't worry if you don't have any fresh rose petals, you can easily use the dried, and it's a great bonus if you have organic roses, because what would happen here, whether they are fresh or dried, you'd be able to use them internally in small amounts. If they are organic, they would be great for internal use because they don't have the pesticides and herbicides naturally used in non-organic rose petals. Apart from the 3 to 4 cups of rose petals, you would also need some ice cubes, and you would need some distilled water and a stock pot with a lid and 2 bowls. Now you would start off by placing the bowl in the middle of the stock pot. Place it upside down, and the bowl should be raised at least a couple of inches above the water and rose petals. So to place that, you would also need to place a brick or another bowl upside down and place the bowl on. And then you would place the rose petals around the raised bowl. You would cover the bottom of the pot, and you would slowly pour the distilled water into the pot until the rose petals are just covered. Then you cover the pot with the lid upside down, and you would bring the water to a gentle boil. So the once the water is boiling for about a few minutes, you would start off by placing the ice cubes on top of the inverted lid, and you lower the temperature to the lowest temperature, and you allow it to simmer. You would allow it to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes, and what happens here is that the simmer from the boiling water will condense on the inverted lid, and it would collect inside the bowl that you've placed inside the pot. So let's summarize here, because it's a bit of a complex way to do this rose water, but trust me, if you do it this way, you would get lovely high quality rose water that not only is high quality in terms of nutrient ingredients and wonderful antioxidant benefits, but it would last as longer. It would last to the point in terms of storage, so it doesn't go bad as quickly as other ways to make rose water. So let's just sum it up right here, that method that we talked about. You would start off with a large stock pot. Then you would put a bowl upside down on the bottom of the stock pot, carefully cover with about let's say about 10 to 12 cups of water. Then you would top that off with 3 cups of rose petals. Then you would put on top of the inverted glass bowl, you would ought to put on top of it another glass bowl, put it upright. Then you would put the lid of the stock pot. You would put ice cubes in there, and this is the way to do it. Now, a lovely way, it's quite complex, but simplify it and it would be great as well. Let's talk about other ways to do rose water. Now, you could do rose water that's not as potent, but you would also bring you lovely results using the cold process method, which is amazing, and it's really easy. It's more like, just put it, forget about it, and then you've got rose water as that, but it's not as potent. Keep that in mind. So in order to do the cold way of doing rose water, no heat is needed, so you would allow the roses to infuse in distilled water for about 3 to 6 weeks. Simply start off with placing some dried roses in a bottle, preferably an amber colored bottle, and then you would place the roses in there as well, the dried roses. Shake it up, put the lid on, allow it to infuse for about 3 to 6 weeks in a dark place, making sure that you shake it every now and then, maybe every 2 to 3 days during that time that it's infusing. And then after that, strain it, store it in the fridge in preferably a spray bottle, and use it that way. So that's a cold method, the second way of doing rose water. Another way of doing rose water is simply doing it differently, where in order you would do it the same way that we did it in the second method, which is that cold process way, but as you're straining the rose water and you're storing the rose water in the spray bottle, you will add a little bit of glycerin and a little bit of vitamin E to it, shake it up and put it in the fridge to use. Now, lovely rose water has so many benefits for your hair, for your skin, especially when it comes to adopting a natural beauty routine. It's amazing. You can use it in so many different ways. You would wake up, for example, and use it as a refreshing spritz on your face as a toner. You could spray it on your face to help lock in moisture before you use a moisturizer. You can even use it in order to get rid of a cakey look. Using it with a spray bottle directly on your face. You could use it throughout the day to refresh your face, and also you could use it for so many different things, including as a fragrance to, you know, I use it for my pillows and my couches and curtains whenever I need a little bit of refreshing aroma, natural aroma to the house. It's wonderful, it's lovely. And I know that the way that I explained the rose water is a bit too complex because it wasn't demonstrated for you, and I do apologize on that, because I've got currently the kitchen is all over the place because of the reconstruction work that's currently being done to it, so I couldn't be able to demonstrate it. But in the description box below, I will include a few links with pictures that explains how to do it using the instructions that I mentioned in today's video. So let me know if you use rose water and what you would use it for.